Rain slid down the windshield in steady sheets as Daniel Hayes turned off the engine and glanced at his daughter in the back seat. Lily was humming softly, her small shoes tapping against the seat, unaware of the weight her father carried every day. Since losing his wife, Daniel had learned to live in quiet survival mode routine, discipline and doing whatever it took to give Lily a stable life. That evening was no different, just groceries, then home. Inside the store, the fluorescent lights buzzed faintly overhead. Daniel moved through the aisles with purpose, picking out essentials, while keeping a watchful eye on Lily as she pointed excitedly at cereal boxes. He allowed himself a small smile. Moments like these mattered, moments that felt normal. By the time they stepped back outside, the rain had picked up, drumming loudly against the pavement. Daniel carried the grocery bags in one hand and held Lily's hand tightly with the other. That's when he noticed the tension. Near the edge of the parking lot, beneath a flickering street lamp, a woman stood facing two men. She was dressed sharply, dark coat heels slightly splashed with rain, but her posture was rigid. The men circled her space too closely, their voices low but aggressive. Even from a distance, Daniel could sense the imbalance. Years in the Navy had trained him to read situations quickly. Tone, movement, intent. This wasn't just an argument. It was intimidation. He paused for a brief second. A familiar internal conflict surfaced. He had Lily with him. He could walk away, avoid trouble. That would be the safer choice, but safety had never been his guiding principle. Responsibility had. Stay close to me, he said quietly to Lily. He walked toward the scene. Steady and calm, his presence deliberate. As he approached, one of the men raised his voice, stepping even closer to the woman. That was enough. Is there a problem here? Daniel's voice cut through the rain, firm. Controlled, unmistakably authoritative. Both men turned, clearly not expecting interference. Daniel didn't raise his fist or his tone. He didn't need to. His posture alone, straight-backed, grounded, sent a message. He placed himself slightly in front of the woman, not aggressively but protectively. "This doesn't concern you," one of the men muttered. Daniel met his gaze without flinching. "It does now." There was a long pause. The kind where decisions are made without words. The men exchanged glances, measuring him whatever they saw. Confidence, training, or simply someone unwilling to back down. It made them reconsider. "Not worth it," one of them said under his breath. They stepped away, disappearing into the rain without another word. Silence returned, broken only by the steady fall of water. Daniel turned slightly, giving the woman space up close. She looked composed, but her eyes revealed a flicker of shock, maybe even disbelief. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded, gathering herself quickly. "Yes, thank you. I had it under control, but I appreciate it." Daniel gave a small nod. Good. There was no lingering, no expectation. He adjusted his grip on the grocery bags and gently guided Lily toward the car. "Come on, kiddo." As they walked away, the woman watched him. This stranger, who had stepped in without hesitation and left without asking for anything in return. Daniel didn't look back to him. It was just another moment. Another decision, but it wouldn't stay small for long. 3 weeks passed, each day blending into the next in Daniel Hayes' tightly structured routine. Early mornings, school drop-offs, job applications, and long evenings. Helping Lily with reading, while quietly worrying about bills. The memory of that rainy night had faded into the background, filed away as just another moment where he had done what felt right. He never expected to hear about it again, so when an unfamiliar number called him on a Tuesday afternoon, Daniel almost ignored it. He was in the middle of fixing a loose cabinet hinge in their small kitchen, tools scattered on the counter. Lily was coloring nearby. "Mr. Hayes?" a calm professional voice asked when he picked up. "Yes, we'd like to invite you for a meeting regarding a potential opportunity. Downtown Carter Global offices tomorrow at 10. Daniel frowned slightly. "I think you may have the wrong person." "We don't," the voice replied politely but firmly. "We'll be expecting you." The call ended before he could ask more. That night Daniel barely slept. Carter Global was a name he had heard before. Big, powerful, far removed from his world. The idea that they wanted to meet him didn't make sense still. He pressed his only suit the next morning, the same one he had worn at his wife's funeral, and dropped Lily off at school with a reassuring smile he didn't quite feel. The building stood tall against the skyline, all glass and steel, reflecting the sharp morning sun. Daniel hesitated for a moment outside, adjusting his jacket before stepping inside. The lobby was polished, quiet, intimidating. Everything about it felt expensive. He approached the front desk, gave his name, and was immediately escorted upstairs without delay. That alone told him this wasn't a mistake. The elevator ride felt longer than it was. Daniel's reflection stared back at him in the mirrored walls, clean-cut, composed, but carrying years of quiet struggle in his eyes. He straightened his shoulders. Whatever this was, he would face it head-on. When the doors opened, he was guided into a large conference room. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. A long table stretched across the center, and at its head sat a woman. Daniel stopped mid-step. It was her. The same woman from the parking lot. She looked different now, not shaken, not guarded. Confident, commanding, completely in control. Several executives sat along the sides of the table, but it was clear who held the power in the room, Mr. Hayes. She said, standing. Her voice was calm, familiar. Daniel nodded slowly, still processing. I didn't realize that we'd meet again. She finished, a slight smile forming. Most people don't. She gestured for him to sit, but Daniel remained standing for a moment longer, grounding himself. Then he took the seat offered. My name is Evelyn Carter. She continued, I believe I owe you a proper introduction. The name landed heavily. Carter Global CEO, multimillionaire. Possibly more, Daniel exhaled quietly. You didn't have to go through all this just to say thank you. Evelyn's expression shifted, something more serious behind her eyes. No, I didn't, but that's not why you're here. She leaned forward slightly, folding her hands. That night you stepped into a situation most people would avoid. Especially with your daughter beside you, you didn't ask who I was. You didn't hesitate, and you didn't expect anything in return. Daniel said nothing. I value that, she said. Integrity isn't something you can teach easily, and it's something my company needs. One of the executives slid a folder across the table toward him. Evelyn continued, we're offering you a position. Head of Security Operations. Full training, full benefits, and a salary that reflects the responsibility. Additionally, she paused briefly, we'll be covering your daughter's education. Completely, the room felt suddenly very still. Daniel looked down at the folder but didn't open it right away. His mind raced not with excitement but with disbelief. This wasn't his world. Not yet. You're offering me this because of one moment? He asked carefully. Evelyn shook her head. No, I'm offering it because that moment told me exactly who you are. Daniel finally met her gaze. There was no pressure in it, just certainty. For the first time in a long while, something shifted inside him. Not relief, not yet, but possibility, and that was enough to change everything.